This is my video of how to replace a Lexan plate protective cover on your Denecke TS-C Smart Slate. First thing I did is, using a heat gun, I went ahead and softened the adhesive so that I could get us peeled back to about here. And then we have to be careful because of this ribbon that needs to be connected. It's much better if we can take it apart and not break that ribbon if possible. Until, well, we don't want to put any stress on the circuitry. So, once we have that loosened, we can get to the back of our slate. There are only some of the screws holding the plate on. We want to go for the corners and the middles and not touching these two or any of the side screws or base screws, because those are holding the brackets that we are currently screwed to. Go ahead and remove these. Yes, I know I'm missing a screw, and that will be replaced later today after I get all of this work done. I already have the battery sled removed. And when you are taking the back cover off, you go from left to right because of the button connections there. Once we're inside, we have two more screws here. So we'll go ahead and remove those. Now, I'm not the type of person to unnecessarily remove any ribbons or connectors if possible. So what I'd like to do is, I'm going to leave this one here and leave that connected as well. We're going to pull up and out and just a turn because we want to expose this ribbon. Okay, now then, I'm going to lift this up just so you can get a better look at the ribbon connection. Let's go and zoom in. It's right here. This ribbon is connected to the plate on the front face. So this is just a matter of removing from the pins, and now we can go ahead and remove the faceplate. Make sure to heat well, or you'll get some of this cushion coming off. But you can see my plate, in the Utah area, we have high heat, so we can be at around 110 shooting in the desert, and then up in the mountains, we can be at about 5 degrees. So there's a lot of temperature variation, and adhesives don't always hold up very well. So it started to let go and warp, which is why we're replacing it. Now, I got a little carried away and let the UV filter come off, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that now. Okay, now that that's cleaned, I'm gonna put that back because I let it fall out. Be easiest to go in this way. Oh, I guess we're gonna lock that in with the cover. So, actually, now that I realize that's gonna fall through, I'm gonna put this back, set it this way. Okay, you can see where the ribbon's connected and our connector there. So now I have the new one, courtesy of Gotham. So, okay, I realized that I still have a layer of that sheet down because of this tearing and the contact cement that's still on the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and heat it up and pull that off as well. Using low heat. It's the part that illuminates, which is why the ribbon is connected there. And then we can get back to cleaning. Okay, so alcohol was taking forever, so I went out and got myself a scraping blade, and it's coming off very easily. Live and learn. But we want the best bond we can get, and that means the cleanest substrate we can get. Okay, now that we have the surface as clean as I can get it, there may be still a little bit of residue, but it's pretty darn clean. We're going to go ahead and take the adhesive tape off. Let's not forget this little guy right here as well. My nails can get it. Okay. So you can see the little slot here. We're going to fish our ribbon through. And try to get this lined up as perfectly as we can with the window up top. Most critical and weakest point, I feel, of the entire slate. And then let's go ahead, work out any possible bubbles. Take a dry clean cloth and let's give it a rub down, making sure that we get good adhesion. If you have a roller, great. You can roll it in, but we want to get full adhesion on this faceplate. I'll come back and probably do some more once I get it put back together, just so I can put a little more weight into it. So now that we have that back on, we'll take off the protective film later, but let's reassemble and get this attached. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. Okay, back to here. All right, first things first, let's get our faceplate back on there. This poor thing's been through some hell. Okay. So we're going to make sure that our ribbon is below the red plate. So we get that back into its home. There we go. That's now back in place. And we will go ahead and get our ribbon reconnected. Let's see if we can't get a little bit closer on that. There is this white tab. You can see it right here. This white tab, that marks where the pins are that this ribbon goes into. The pins are right behind that white tab. So I am going to slide in right there. There's my 2 pins. And we are now connected again. All right. Now then, go ahead and, now I like these wires on top of the ribbon, so I'm gonna pull the ribbon down a bit, give it a little bend. Oh, actually, a bend right there looks just fine. So, let's see, we'll come back out. I'll do that again. So our ribbon's connected. We've got our wires here. We're going to just loop right below those and make sure we get back under this wire. Okay, there, so nothing else has been disconnected. We're just gonna make some room for the ribbon. Get that down here. And by rights, we should be ready to close up. Oh, after we get those 2 screws back on. Okay, so we've got this screw right here. It's important to get these back on. It helps to create the channel that your door slides across. If these don't get put back on accidentally, doors won't open. Okay. Circuitry back on. Now let's close her up. Like I said, remember there is absolutely no weatherproofing gasket of any sort, so these things are likely to be damaged in weather. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put the back cover off. For those of you who saw the cut in this edit, I forgot to remove the little protective film from the inside of the screen. So that is why I stopped and went back. Now we can close up and test. Remember, there are a couple of small ones. Oops. The screws, just keep track of which part they go into, which is the middles here. promise I'm not going to put in all of my screws because I have one to replace. So I'll get, let's see, oh, I've got more than that. Should be one more screw in here. Or two. Okay, so these two aren't going in just right now. I'll be taking care of that later. But let's go ahead. I've got a nice clean new face. Okay, now we've got a jammed box connected. We'll turn it on. Okay, no error message. Everything's great. Screen lights up. Refresh Denecke. Love my TS-C. I got the screen replacement from Gotham. I believe it was somewhere around $175, which makes sense now that I know that the illumination is built into the actual cover or protective screen, which is this little bit right here that illuminates. Okay, there you go. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I hope that you learned something from this DIY.